Konnichiwa! Are you planning a trip to Japan? Here are 15 things I wish I knew about Japan before I traveled there. Number 1. There are almost no trash cans in Japan.
Welcome to Japan.
One of the strange things about Japan is how unbelievably clean it is, while almost having no public trash cans. A lot of the times when I had trash, I would just keep the trash in my pocket, until I eventually found a bin. Pro tip, there are trash cans usually around the vending machines, and there's vending machines all across Japan, so find a vending machine, and then you have your trash can. Number 2. The bidets.
Welcome to Japan.
The bidets in Japan are fire. They have heated seats, and they're almost everywhere. As soon as I landed at the airport, there was a bidet, and it had a heated seat. These are nice bidets, and everything is very clean. I know in the USA we don't really use bidets, but once you start using them, it's hard to not use it. I don't want to go into all the details, but it's very clean and hygienic. Number 3. Everybody in Japan keeps to themselves.
Welcome to Japan.
I've lived in Texas, in the American South, for the last 10 years, and I'm used to having conversations all the time. But in Japan, with a little bit of Japanese I knew, it was very hard to have a conversation. Because it seems like most people in Japan are just focused on their work. And if you're a strange Westerner with a mustache, they're probably going to give you a weird look if you try to have a conversation with them. And that brings me to number 4. Learn a little bit of Japanese before you go. Words like sumimasen for excuse me, arigato gozaimasu for thank you, or oishi for delicious can go a long way into having a conversation, or at least expressing some basic pleasantries. But on the trains and public transportation, people don't talk at all. And if you try to have a conversation on the train with someone, people might look at you like you're being rude. After a while, you kind of get used to it, and you just plug in your AirPods like everybody else and doom scroll. Everybody in Japan is just on their phone, in their suit, doom scrolling on the trains. And it makes the transit a little bit more peaceful somehow. Number 5.
Welcome to Japan.
The convenience stores are absolute fire. There's 3 basic chains of these convenience stores in Japan. 1. 7-Eleven, 2. Lawson's, and 3. Family Mart. It's common for someone in Japan to have a favorite of these 3, and for me, it was 7-Eleven. Now, we have 7-Elevens in America, but they're way different in Japan. The quality of the food at a 7-Eleven in Japan is top-notch in my opinion. I would often get sushi or a pasta from a 7-Eleven and take it back to my hostel where I was staying. When you buy food at a Japanese 7-Eleven, they will ask you if you want to heat it up, so you can get a delicious pasta heated up for like $3. They also had these little sandwiches with the crust cut off, and they were awesome. And this brings me to my next point, number 6. People in Japan don't walk around and eat.
Welcome to Japan.
Sit down and eat like a respectable human. I know you're a tourist in Japan, but if you're eating on the train, it's very rude, and it's very bad etiquette. Number 7. Learn about the trains in Japan.
Welcome to Japan.
When I arrived at the airport, I bought a one-way ticket using a kiosk. And then once I arrived into proper Japan, I bought a Passmo card to get me around the local transit. You can load up money on a Passmo card, but not every station has the kiosks to load up on your card. And there's also an app that you can download, although I just use the card. So if you're only going to use the card, I would recommend having a little bit extra on your card. Download Google Maps. Google Maps is going to give you up-to-date times for the trains, and the trains in Japan are very punctual. Also, the train stops at midnight, so if you're having a night out, either plan on getting an Uber or walking back. One night, I met up with a friend and had a few drinks in Shimbashi. The train had stopped at midnight. It was probably 1 or 2 in the morning, so I walked 7 kilometers back to my hostel. And this brings me to point number 8. Tokyo is unbelievably safe. Walking that 7 kilometers back to my apartment felt like I was in the future. There were skyscrapers and the streets were completely empty, except for a couple very drunk Japanese guys who were in suits drinking on the street, but they were friendly. Number 9. Plan to have as much time as possible in Japan.
Welcome to Japan.
I was in Japan for 8 nights, and I wish I had been there for 20 nights. You can easily spend a week or 2 in Tokyo alone. There's so many different places to go to, and it's so dense. There's so many pockets of good things to do. And that's only Tokyo. It seemed like the further away I got from Tokyo, the more interesting it became. I took a day trip to Hakone to go into the hot springs, and it was so relaxing and peaceful. So I hope to go back to Japan, and hopefully I'll have more than a week. Number 10. You're going to do a lot of walking in Japan.
Welcome to Japan.
In Japan, you'll probably notice how fit everybody is. That's because they walk all the time. and walking in Japan is a pleasure. Throughout Japan, they have designated walking paths, which make it very organized and safe. Normally, I would walk between 15,000 and 25,000 steps a day, and I was just trying to see as much as I could, and you probably will too, so bring comfortable walking shoes. I recommend Brooks running shoes. They're very comfortable, lightweight, and they're my go-to walking shoes. Number 11. I'm pretty sure you can stay at almost any place in Japan, and it's going to be a nice experience.
Welcome to Japan.
It seems like the Japanese have mastered the art of fine-tuning details that make life more pleasurable. I stayed at a hostel in Japan for about $30 a night, and it was very peaceful and nice. And that was the cheapest place I could find in Japan. The place I stayed was called the Hotel Asakusa, and it's in Sumida City. The showers had conditioner, soap, and shampoo, and even though my room had 10 or 12 people in there, I didn't really notice them. Even the tourists in my hostel were respectful and quiet. Number 12. Don't be afraid to wander in Japan. Go off the beaten path. Go to places that you weren't expecting to go to. And usually once you get away from the tourists, you get a taste of the real Japan. Number 13. If you're going to Japan, consider getting this book.
Japan.
I traveled around the world for $7,000, and one of the places I went to was Tokyo. This book includes 15 or 20 phrases in each language of places I went to, and how to travel on a budget. So if you want to see the world like I do, this could be a useful guide to help inspire. Sorry for the shameless plug, but while I'm at it, like and subscribe to the YouTube and hit the bell for notifications. My goal is to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so help me do that. Number 14. Try a hot coffee from a vending machine.
Japan.
Like I mentioned before, the Japanese vending machines are everywhere, and oftentimes they'll have hot coffee in them. Usually you can get a hot coffee for about 100 yen, and I thought they were pretty good, so take advantage of the vending machines. Number 15. Japan is a perfect mix of the old and the new.
Welcome to Japan.
There will be a 1,000 or 2,000-year-old temple next to a very modern skyscraper. And Japanese culture is unlike any culture I've ever experienced. One of the ways this manifests is in its language. There are words in Japanese that have no perfect English equivalent, but they're words that you can understand. Words like wabi-sabi, the beauty in imperfection, or a word like sundoku, the practice of buying books but not actually reading them. The Japanese language is very beautiful, so I recommend learning 10 or 15 phrases, and you can do that in my book. And as the Japanese say, ichigo ichi, every meeting is once in a lifetime. And if you'd like more informative travel videos, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel, where I continue to give out tips for traveling around the world. And that's it. That's the end of the video. Thanks for leaving a like too. Sayonara.